Tell me you should ask. There's a new grandfather in New York.
Yes, it did.
She's getting quite a personality, of course, and of course, I'm not going to ask you if you want to see it. I'm just going to show it to you. Yeah. Here she is, very recently, showing her personality. Yeah.
And the recognition.
Oh,
Oh,
I
look at
know.
that.
Yeah. She likes to,
Get attention.
well, I think that's probably a part of it.
But that connection, they understand. They're
Yeah.
little babies.
Here, here she is too. Go ahead, come on, Kevin. And that's Kevin. He is 6'10".
No.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I mean,
goodness.
his whole family covers it.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
uncles and yeah.
Did he play
No,
basketball?
no, he's a chef.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
In
So,
what city?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
He had a restaurant there, and then of course COVID came, so now he's working at he's actually working at he'll still draw on what he knows, but he's going to institutional sales. Um, so he would represent,
Food sales.
yeah, he would represent a firm like Cisco.
Cisco, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's much more consistent
yeah,
than when you're over there for the hours.
probably
Yes.
better.
Especially if you have a little one and you're
Yeah,
going to grow a family.
that's true.
So I can understand. You can always go back to it
Of course, yeah.
if you want to.
And I think they eat well at home.
My frustration is that with having children, my taste is so incredibly diminished that even though I'm asking,
Yeah.
is it okay? And I've never had to take it. I just do it. And I really have a taste for the smell.
Yeah.
And both of those are really bad.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
So, but if that's the worst, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I have heard that most people are very graduated.
It does. It does. And I mean, people say you should eat this, you should eat this, you should taste that. My answer is, I'm just
You
going to
just
do
have to.
normal and it will come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when are you going to see your children?
Um, we are going to go up there last weekend.
Oh, nice.
So
Yes,
we're
just
looking
around
forward
the
to it.
corner.
Yes, it is. And so Kelly was able to get her my daughter was able to get her monitor vaccination because she has some health things that we put her on.
Yeah, but by that time, her stage,
Yeah.
that
Oh
could
yeah.
be tremendous.
Oh, I know. And my son-in-law just got his first jab.
And he's had yours?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we drove down all the way about about a month and a half ago. Yeah.
Well, we just drove to Rich's Pharmacy an hour.
Oh, okay. I'm supposed to be playing. We started
Second time I've done that. I just lift the actual camera. You got Play-Doh too? I can. I guess when you guys were picking numbers, there was. We haven't started yet, so I can still do my jokes. Okay. There's something about this side. You must like him better. Direct from Canner. Over here, dud. Okay. But still strong on this side, right? Okay. San Diego, we used to have like 200 people here and like 3 people here. Right? It bothered me, you know. OCD. Okay. I know. It's like you sit here, we're going to call on you to do parts of the service. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Canner, let's get some seriousness into this moment.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. In front of you, hopefully, are Mishkan Tefillah prayer books. They are thick blue prayer books, so if you want to follow along, that is the one we will be using and operating from tonight. We begin with our Hinei Ma Tov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to page 124, 124, and please join me with this reading at the top. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayers. And it's our great honor to welcome the Engel family to the Bima as they light our Shabbat candles.
Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav metzivanu lehatlik ner shel Shabbat.
For those who are able, we rise together for Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom tehila lemikrai e kodesh zecher letziyat mitzrayim ki vanu vaharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodsheha ve'ahava uratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
It's called the Kobod L'chaim. Please be seated. We turn to page 127. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure, but what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, and day of peace. We continue with Psalm 95 and page 130.
Lechu neranen al Adonai nariya litzur yisheinu Lechu neranen al Adonai nariya litzur yisheinu nekat mafanav betoda bizmirot nariya lo ki el gadol Adonai umelech gadol al kol Elohim asher beyado mechkerei aretz betoafot harim lo asher lo hayam vehu asahu meyabeshet yadav yatsaru ki hu Eloheinu v'anachnu Amarito v'tzoneado. We welcome the Shabbat bride on page 138, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi li לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבורך תשמיענו, אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו בני אל חכים, מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשם בתחילה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise together to greet Shabbat HaMalkah.
בואי ושלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחנדותי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We turn to page 145, 145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, and to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before. Lest routine set my ways. And we continue with a Chetzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא תברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. ברכו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
We turn to page 146 and we rise together.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, united with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Devarech, let us bless.
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed, le'olam ba'ed. Yadadai-dai-dai, 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 yadadai-dai-dai.
Page 148.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechochma potea she'arim uvivuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakohavim b'mishmarotehem barakir kirsono v'rei yom v'laila golel or miknei choshet v'choshet miknei or umavir yom umevi laila umavdil bein yom uvein laila Adonai Sivaot Shemo, El Chai Vikayom Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
Amen.
150.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavtam, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, ונשמח מדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad.
et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'kol nafshecha uv'kol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinontam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'vretecha uv'leftecha maderet uv'shoftecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'chayu l'tetefo bein einecha uv'tavtam al mezuzot bein techa uv'isharecha. And finally, to remember just why all these things matter. They matter because I, Adonai Elohecha, brought you and your children out of Egypt to be God for you. I am your God, and when you do these things, I will be your children's God.
(157), we continue. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our song that celebrates our freedom, our Michamocha 158.
Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh, nora tehilot, osef eleh, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha bokea yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Se'eli anu ve'amru, Se'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da.
161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. We continue with Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Me'amiteinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Me'amiteinu shomreinu shield us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו
Page 163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor bend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. We rise together for tefillah.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד עטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We turn to page 173 at the top. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. We continue with Ritzeh on the next page.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'tehil leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lechol Kore'av V'nei Elavatecha Mechoneinu Shefoch Ruchacha Betechezena Eineinu Beshuvcha LeTzion. Merachamim Baruch Adonai HaMachazir Shechinato
We turn to page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of thy name hallow every home and every heart. Praise are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. מטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
יהיו רצון אמרי פי, יהיו רצון אמרי פי, בהגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimromav, uya'ase shalom aleinu, me'al kol Yisrael, me'imeru ve'imeru.
At this moment in our service, we take time to think of those in our community, those who are in need of healing of body or spirit. On the Shabbat, we take time to think of Linda Applebaum, Harriet Bagby, Cindy Bailey, Sophia Berry, Katie Bates, Lynn Kale, Harold Seitlin, Deborah Chorgois, Sunita Costa, Melvin Davis, Hannah Lillian Fox, Buster and Eileen Griffith, Elaine Gross, Josie Hatfield, Evelyn Held, Norma Jill Jacobson, Bart Colber, Jerry Lapidus, Wayne Lewis, Jan Milet, Chrissy St. Charles, Elena Stern, Jesse Weisberg, and Elisa Rosemore Whitehead. For those who are with us tonight, if you are thinking of a loved one, a friend, someone who means so much to you, and you wish to share a name out loud, we invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. For those names mentioned out loud, and for those names that are still in our hearts, our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, 371, the middle.
Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So nearly 2 weeks ago on Sunday night, all of us here and for those watching, we began our spiritual journey. Sharon's ready. That journey of when we started counting the Omer. And this is a tradition which we do to get to that Shavuot moment, a day which we celebrate the receiving of Torah, the blueprint for our lives. But here at Temple Emanu-El, we started this new tradition. Traditions can be new. Last year. That it's during the time of the counting of the Omer, we have a little fun. We learn about the significance and ritual of counting the Omer while testing all of our acumen to see if we know things about certain numbers. Our new cantor here had a difficult time with transition. He only started to sing in front of people nearly a month ago. We were supposed to have his installation. We were still physically distancing, but now let the hazing begin as our incredible Menchi deer cantor now takes a stab at leading us in Temple Emanu-El's second annual Omer game. And I know Joe was on my search committee. I did not talk about this during my interview, but you hired me anyways. Cantor, do not disappoint.
So it is the 13th day of the Omer that we are about to count, so our number for the evening will be 13. I believe I mentioned the number 13 in the answers or clues themselves, and feel free to shout out your answers if you have any idea. Also, these are kind of hard, and I really recognize that, so I do have a bunch of clues written out, so if nobody's getting anything, I'll lead you in the right direction. Also, I wanted to include Jewish stuff in this given our setting, and so we'll begin with the secular and we'll end with the Jewish material. All right, here we go. This now state was the 13th and final colony established, chartered in 1732 by King George II. Georgia, that is correct. Awesome. My clue was going to be it's the southernmost of them, so that you could probably just figure it out that way, but also it is named after the king who established it, so easy enough. I could have given that clue. All right, here we go. A little harder. This man was the 13th president of the United States. He was the final president not to be associated with the Democratic or Republican parties. you probably would not hear of any, or very few at least, people with this name these days. First name. Who is Fillmore? Millard Fillmore. Tough, it's tough. These are not easy. I did not go easy on you. This man left office as President of the United States in 1913 when Woodrow Wilson took office. There are clues to come, but anybody have any ideas? He supposedly got stuck in a bathtub. Taft. Also, final clue, and this would not necessarily have, sorry, I did not hear it if someone said that. This would not necessarily have led you to the answer, but I think it's the most interesting thing I found when I was looking for information. In 1921, he was sworn in as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the only man to serve in both of those roles. Next one. This element has the atomic number 13, a density lower than most metals, and is fairly common in kitchens and in appliances. The letters that represent it on the periodic table are those that represent your collective favorite team and partitioned piece of land. Aluminum, AL, there we go. Oh, did someone else get it? Great, you're killing it. This one's sort of for our rabbi, but I'm hoping he won't answer because he'll get it in a second. This hockey player, nicknamed the Magic Man, wore number 13, winning the Stanley Cup twice in 2002 and 2008, 3 consecutive Selk trophies from 2008 to 2010, and 4 consecutive Lady Byng trophies from 2006 to 2009. Any takers? Any hockey fans?
If you guys were to steer your phones to who is the Magic Man, Pavel Datsyuk will be the answer.
That's it. Pavel Datsyuk. Pavel Datsyuk. My clues were not very good for this. He played on the rabbi's favorite team, and he is Russian. Didn't know how to point that if you're not hockey fans. All right, so we're moving into our Jewish section here. Some of these the questions are a little, they're worded a little funkily because I had a hard time making it clear, but I will help you along if we're not getting it. This biblical character, being referred to as a man, is often used to explain how the Mishnaic and Talmudic rabbis decided on 13 being the age of bar mitzvah. Any taker? A son of Jacob's. That's his brother. Okay, we got a bunch of clues for this one. He is the 3rd son of Jacob and Leah. Probably not super helpful if we didn't know the answer to begin with. Okay, next one. He is a direct ancestor of Aaron, Miriam, and Moses, and the whole priestly line. Yes, but what's the larger family house name? Okay, and last one, last clue. He owns a blue jeans company. Levi, there you go. All right, we're getting into the very obscure. So this one you can maybe get. The last one I meant as maybe for our rabbi. But here we go. This son of Jacob had 2 sons with Israelite tribes named after them, meaning that while there were 12 sons of Jacob, there effectively were 13 tribes. Anybody? Any taker? Joseph. Yes, that's it. Ephraim and Manasseh were the tribes. All right, and on to our last one. This one is bringing out the cantor in me. The 13 what are listed in Yigdal and in Adonai Adonai, a prayer that we use during the high holidays and on other chagim. Okay, I'm just going to give it to you because I didn't have any clues for this one. There are too many. They are the divine attributes of mercy. All right, good job, everybody.
He's a liturgist. I'm a historian and hockey fan. But anyway, Yashikov to a great night 13. And next week, do not disappoint. Our dear Paul is up, but we learned so much. But what is important is that it's a beautiful tradition to count the Omer, in which Judaism requires us to get to that Torah moment. And we'll be sooner to May, I'm trying to remember.
What the date is.
When we get to Shavuot. You forgot 13 total hours I've slept the past week, but that's okay. I know last week I said that sleep was overrated, but I should have said sleep can also be missed. But anyways, we turn to page 570 as we count the Omer and we rise together. 570.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer.
Yamim la'omer. Today is 13 days, which is 1 week and 6 days of the Omer. Remain standing for Aleinu 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We turn to page 596, 596. We have lived in numberless towns and villages, and in too many of them we have endured in cruel suffering. Some we have forgotten, others are sealed in our memory, a wound that does not heal. 100 generations of victims and martyrs, still their blood cries out from the earth. And so many at Dachau, Buchenwald, and Babi Yar. What can we say and what can we do? How bear the unbearable, or accept what life has brought to our people? All who are born must die, but how shall we compare the slow passage of time with the callous slaughter of the innocent, cut off before their time? They lived with faith, not all but many, and surely many died with faith in God, in life, and the goodness that even flames cannot destroy. May we find a way to the strength of that faith, that trust, that sense of life and soul endure beyond this body's death. They have let their lives to us. Let a million prayers rise whenever Jews worship. Let a million candles grow against the darkness of these unfinished lives. We as a Temple family always remember those who were slaughtered between the Holocaust, 1933 and 1945. Our dear cantor comes from grandparents who are Holocaust survivors. And this Sunday is our Holocaust memorial, which we can find via Zoom. Also, we take time to think of those in our community as we recall their yard sites. Emmanuel Ayland, Joseph Apolinsky, Bernice Barstein, May Sachs Burke, Frida Bluestein, Bill Brooks, Alice Rose Brownstein, Eldridge Chiffins, James McAllister Clark, Reva Saul Cohen, Sam Epstein, Herschel Feibelman, Francis G. Fleur, Louis Franklin, Stephen Edward First, Oleg Geskin, Carolyn Goldberg, Colin Hartman, Marvin Buddy L. Jacobs, Elaine Cardis, Ronnie Slive Kasowitz, Alan Coslin, Kate H. Lewis, Lola Liberman, Alice R. Mollitz, Hyman Miller, Harry Ravitz, Alex Rittenbaum, Barry Roseman, Louis Schulhofer Jr., Meyer Irving Shyland, Clara Siegel, Sherry Silverman, Anid Silverstein, Benjamin Singer, Harry Sokol, Jacob Max Solomon, Dora Heyman Stern, Joseph Tanner, Ella Layens Wheel, Isidore Weinstein, and Joyce Weinstein. Our heartfelt condolences on the recent passing of Robert Brobst, father of Jeff Brobst, and Kimberly Kraselsky, niece of David and Donna Kraselsky.
Sheila and Paul Klein.
May all their memories forever be a blessing. We rise together for our Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yikadal, Vikadah, Shemei Rabbah, Bioma Divrach Erote, Vamlich Malchute, V'chayachon of Yom Echon, Uvchayet Kol Beit Yisrael, Bagala Uizman Kari, V'yimru,
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Leolam Olamei Omaya, Yit Barach, V'yishtabach, Hit Ba'ard, Hit Romam, Hit Naseh, Vita Dar, Vita Lev, Vita Lal, Shemei Kutsha,
Brichu.
Le'ela Min Kol Birchata B'shirata, Tush V'chata V'nechemata, Damin Ram V'yoma V'yimru,
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'imromav, Huya Asei Shalom, Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen.
Ose Shalom B'imromav, Huya Asei Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, Amen.
Before we conclude our closing song, Adon Olam, on page 625, I am obligated to talk about our deboarding plane process here. So, as the task force would like me to do, those sitting, Monica's looking at me to get this right, on the front side of this bank right here, you get to exit first through that door. The back section will exit that door, and this side, so few of you have fun. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Adon Olam Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa V'chefetzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikarab, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara, Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, Ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni, lehamshilo lehachbira, beli reshit, beli tachlit, לו העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי מעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום מקרה. Ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 בידו אפקיד רוחי בעת ישן מאירה ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירה יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה 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 יא דה 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 יא דה 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 יא דה יא דה 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 יא דה 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 יא דה 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 ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתיאבון. Shabbat Shalom.